All right, big show tomorrow night here at Canada Life Centre, and I've got a very special guest standing by with me to talk about the big show, Chris Jericho. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be back here at the Canada Life Centre, one of my favorite arenas in the entire world, and getting ready for our AEW debut in Winnipeg, which is very exciting.
This is the second Canadian city that the AEW has visited. Toronto was the first Canadian stop for the AEW. How does it feel to be back here at home as part of the AEW and performing in front of a hometown crowd?
So it's interesting because AEW, the genesis of the company, basically formed when Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega, also from Winnipeg, from Transcona, headlined the Tokyo Dome in 2018 in a match that was brokered by Don Callis, another Winnipegger. So that's kind of the first match where our boss Tony Khan saw the business that it did, because it did huge numbers on a worldwide basis on streaming and pay-per-view, that sort of thing, and decided that maybe the world was waiting and ready for an alternative. I can't think of another city that we should be making, our second Canadian show in other than Winnipeg, because it basically started here in a lot of ways.
So what is the next thing? People know you, of course, as a wrestler, an actor, author, podcaster, musician, business person. What's the next thing for you? Is there a next thing? Is there something surprising that maybe you're thinking of or that you want to try?
There's always a next thing, but it usually just comes at you. You know what I mean? Like when Fozzy played the Kiss Cruise, for example, in 2015, I was just on the cruise going, I could totally do this. I could do a wrestling cruise. Before that, I never thought, hey, I want to do a wrestling cruise. I don't have a list of things I want to do. Like I was just on The Masked Singer a couple months ago. I never once ever wanted to do The Masked Singer until they asked me, and I thought, that could be kind of fun. Let me give it a try. So I'm sure there could be something going on right now. I could get an email or a text or a call while I'm talking to you of something that I never thought of before. But if it sounds interesting to me, then I'll do it. I don't really care about money. I don't do things for money. I do things because I want to do it, because I feel like it'd be fun to do and it'd be something creative to do.
It's very strange, especially in the treehouse.
I always think of that, like would my fans appreciate this? Would they think it's cool? Would they like it? Is it something that I think would put a smile on their faces? So there's a lot of that involved as well.
This has to be emotional for you. We've seen in your entrances the crowd singing along to Judas when you come in. I'm sure that's got to be pretty emotional. And then you're here being celebrated by your hometown. You're going to have a street named after yourself and the street that you actually
The street that I grew up on,
yeah. How does that feel?
It's amazing. Like I actually threw it out there just for fun, let's see if you can get a street named after me. And we started looking into it, and suddenly there was a little bit of interest, and then it kind of went away, and then it came back. And we were thinking of just some back alley or something where we used to hang out and smoke cigarettes in the 80s, but they actually asked me, where did you grow up? And I said, in Westwood, on Wordsworth Way. And that's the street they're gonna make it honorary Chris Jericho Way, however they do it. So that's really cool. That's something that you do a lot of stuff, and I always sit back and drink it in, man, if you will. But being in a video game is cool, or having an action figure, all that stuff is cool. But to have a street named after you, especially the one that you grew up on, my mom, passed away years ago at the house where we lived at when I was a kid. So it's pretty cool. That's one of those things that definitely doesn't happen every day, and it doesn't happen to everybody either. Always talk about Winnipeg. It's always a blast to come back just to be here, but to actually have a show here and be in front of all these fans, it's going to be a special night that we remember for a long time.
Thank you so much.